The United States, Britain and France are among almost 40 countries boycotting talks on a nuclear weapons ban treaty at the United Nations, according to Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the world body. With none of the participants, more than 100 countries, at Monday's talks belonging to the group of states that possess nuclear weapons, the talks were doomed to failure. According to Haley, the countries skipping the discussions would love to have a ban on nuclear weapons, but in this day and time we can't honestly say we can protect our people by allowing bad actors to have them and those of us that are good trying to keep peace and safety not to have them. Speaking as the debate at the UN headquarters in New York got underway, Haley also mentioned North Korea, which recently has carried out missile tests that violate UN resolutions. We have to be realistic. Is there anyone who thinks that North Korea would ban nuclear weapons? Haley said. North Korea would be the one cheering and all of us and the people we represent would be the ones at risk. Haley spoke in a group of about 20 ambassadors from U.S. allies who did not join the negotiations, including Britain, France, South Korea, Turkey and a number of countries from Eastern Europe. The ambassadors of Russia and China were notably absent, but both major nuclear powers are also sitting out the talks. Britain's UN ambassador Matthew Rickroft said, "The UK is not attending the negotiations on a treaty to prohibit nuclear weapons because we do not believe that those negotiations will lead to effective progress on global nuclear disarmament." Deputy French UN Ambassador Alexis Lamech said the security conditions were not right for a nuclear weapons ban treaty. In the current perilous context, considering in particular the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and their means of delivery, our countries continue to rely on nuclear deterrence for security and stability, Lamech said. The new U.S. administration of President Donald Trump is reviewing whether it will reaffirm the goal of a world without nuclear weapons, a White House aide said last week, referring to a name embraced by previous Republican and Democratic presidents and required by a key arms control treaty. Beatrice Fien, executive director of the International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, said in a statement, "It is disappointing to see some countries with strong humanitarian records standing with a government which threatens a new arms race." Disappointment with Obama. The UN General Assembly in December adopted a resolution, 113 in favor to 35 against, with 13 abstentions, that decided to negotiate a legally binding instrument to prohibit nuclear weapons, leading towards their total elimination and encouraged all member states to participate. But Britain, France, Israel, Russia and the US all voted no, while China, India and Pakistan abstained. Even Japan, the only country to have suffered atomic attacks, in 1945, voted against the talks, saying a lack of consensus over the negotiations could undermine progress on effective nuclear disarmament. Al Jazeera's Rosalind Jordan, reporting from the UN headquarters, said that last year the administration of former U.S. President Barack Obama opposed the resolution that authorized the UN Conference on the Nuclear Weapons. It encouraged the NATO members to not take part in this year's negotiations to try to establish what would be a legally binding treaty, she said. Leaders of the effort to ban the nuclear weapons include Austria, Ireland, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, and Sweden, supported by hundreds of NGOs. They say the threat of nuclear disaster is growing thanks to tensions fanned by North Korea's nuclear weapons program and an unpredictable new administration in Washington. There was disappointment with the Obama administration, which made some pledges, but then ignored most of them, said Fien. And now there are raised worries with the new U.S. president. Nevertheless, with experience from the campaigns against cluster munitions and landmines, Fien believes there is a good chance a treaty will be adopted, if not necessarily after the first phase of negotiations, which will end in July. And such a treaty would oblige major powers to revisit their policies sooner or later, even if, like Russia and the US, they're currently modernizing their nuclear weapons arsenal. Even if major nuclear weapon producers don't sign it, they have a big impact, Fiend said of global treaties. Look at Russia denying using cluster bombs in Syria. Why? They did not sign the cluster munition ban, but they know it's bad. Please subscribe my channel.